The sky above Earth glowed with colors humans had never seen. A strange calm spread across cities, forests, and oceans as the Interstellar Council arrived. Their ships were enormous, like floating crystals, shining under the sun. People stopped what they were doing and stared. Children pointed and laughed with excitement. Adults held their breath, feeling a mix of fear and wonder. No one knew why these visitors had come, but everyone could feel that something important was about to happen. In the center of the largest city, a crowd gathered near the government building. From the tallest tower, a young man named Max watched the sky. Max had always been curious about space. He studied science, history, and everything about other worlds. He was not afraid of the council, but he understood the importance of the moment. The council had traveled across galaxies, known everywhere for their wisdom and power. Their reputation was gentle, peaceful, and diplomatic. Everyone expected kindness from them, but Max felt there was something more hidden behind their calm faces. The council's leader, a tall figure named Ren, stepped out of a ship. Ren's appearance was strange yet elegant. His skin shimmered like silver, and his eyes reflected light in a way that made humans feel like he could see their deepest thoughts. He raised his hand in greeting, and the crowd quieted. Max noticed the way Ren moved, careful, precise, almost like a dancer. Ren's smile was polite but controlled. Max wondered if the smile hid something. "People of Earth," Ren said in a voice that was soft but strong, "we come in peace. We have observed your world for a long time. We wish to learn from you and to share knowledge from our civilizations." Humans clapped and cheered, feeling proud. For many, it was proof that Earth was no longer small or weak in the galaxy. Yet Max remained thoughtful. He had read stories of other civilizations that appeared gentle but were very dangerous. He studied their actions carefully as they stepped down from the ship. Ren walked slowly among the humans. Other council members followed, each one unique. One had blue skin that seemed to flow like water. Another's arms moved in shapes humans could not understand. Each member carried a device that glowed with soft light. They did not speak yet, but humans sensed their intelligence. Children ran close, curious, and the council members bent slightly to look at them. No one seemed scared. Max noticed that. Ren spoke to the crowd again. "We respect your achievements, your courage, and your determination. We do not wish to control you. We wish to learn and to share. We hope this meeting will start a long friendship." Humans applauded, and Max felt a quiet pride. Earth was being recognized. Yet he could not ignore a small feeling of doubt. The council seemed calm and gentle, but he wondered if this was only a mask. What if the council was testing humans quietly, without anyone noticing? Later, Max met with a small group of other thinkers and scientists. They stood on a hill, overlooking the city where the council had landed. "They look calm," said Myra, a woman with sharp eyes and a notebook always in her hand. "But calm does not mean harmless. We must be careful. We should observe them, learn what they really want." Max nodded. "I feel the same. Their actions are polite, but something about them is too precise. No one moves like that naturally. They may be testing us without showing it." The group agreed to stay close to the council, watch their movements, and report anything unusual. Humans were not weak. Earth had survived floods, earthquakes, wars, and fires. Humans had learned to fight, to think, and to adapt. Max believed that even if the council had hidden plans, Earth would not fail. Meanwhile, Ren and the council explored the city. They visited schools, laboratories, and cultural centers. Humans showed them inventions, works of art, and scientific experiments. Ren nodded politely at each display, asking questions that made humans think deeply. Max noticed that the council never made mistakes, but they sometimes asked questions that humans could answer in more than one way. They seemed curious, but there was more to their curiosity. At night, the council gathered on a high platform in the city center. Ren looked at the stars and spoke quietly to his team. "This planet is different from the others," he said. "They appear gentle, yet they have hidden strength. We must observe carefully. We must not underestimate them." The council members nodded. Their faces were still calm, but their eyes showed alertness. Max could not see this from the crowd, but he felt it in the air. Something important was about to happen. Earth was not just being visited. It was being measured, tested, and watched. As the city slept under the lights of the council's ships, Max stood on the balcony of his apartment. He thought about the future. Humans had always faced challenges. This new challenge was different, bigger, and unknown. But he knew one thing clearly. Humans would not run. Humans would not hide. Humans would face whatever came, using their courage, their brains, and their will. And perhaps, he thought, this was the moment when the council would finally see the true strength of Earth. The next morning, the city woke to a clear sky. The council's ships remained above, shimmering like crystals in the sunlight. People gathered in open squares to watch as the council began their official meetings with human leaders. Max joined the group of thinkers and scientists who had been chosen to meet the council. Myra was there as well, along with a few others who had experience in strategy and observation. Counselor Ren entered the hall with a quiet confidence. His presence filled the room, yet he did not demand attention. He greeted each human leader politely and nodded at Max and his group. Ren's voice was calm and precise. "We are here to learn about your world, your people, and your ways. We do not wish to impose. We hope to exchange knowledge and ideas." Max noticed how the council members listened carefully to every word. They did not interrupt or rush. But Max had learned that listening too carefully could also be a form of testing. The council asked questions that seemed simple at first. "How do humans solve conflicts among themselves?" asked one member with flowing blue skin. "How do humans survive in dangerous conditions?" Humans answered honestly. They spoke of history, of wars fought and peace achieved, of communities coming together during disasters. They spoke of small inventions that changed lives, of ideas that grew into technologies. Max noticed that the council wrote nothing down but seemed to remember every detail. After some time, Ren asked a question that made everyone pause. "If another species arrived to challenge your world, how would you respond?" Humans looked at one another, considering their answer carefully. Max spoke first. "We would find a way. We would protect our people. We would use our brains, our skills, and our courage. We would not give up." Ren smiled slightly, almost imperceptibly. "Interesting," he said. "Many civilizations we have met believe in surrender or avoidance. You humans appear ready to act. You seem persistent." Later, the council visited a laboratory where humans were experimenting with renewable energy and medical devices. Scientists explained their projects with pride. Max and Myra guided the council through demonstrations of new machines and explained the logic behind each invention. The council asked precise questions, ones humans had not expected. "Why did you choose this design? What problem does this method solve?" Humans answered openly. They explained trial and error, failures, and small victories. Max noticed how quickly the council adapted to each explanation. They seemed to understand not only the technical details but also the human spirit behind them. During a break, Max and Myra discussed their observations. "They are clever," Myra said. "They are polite, but they are learning everything about us without revealing their own abilities. We need to be careful." Max nodded. "Yes. They seem gentle, but I feel like this is just the surface. They are testing our reactions, our choices, and our creativity. We need to show them who we are without being reckless." That evening, the council visited a cultural center. Humans performed music, dance, and drama, sharing the richness of their history and imagination. Ren watched quietly, moving his head slightly to follow the rhythm. Humans hoped this would show the council their peaceful side, but Max knew it also revealed something else: their teamwork, their adaptability, and their ability to communicate in ways beyond words. The council asked for explanations about each performance. "What does this represent?" they asked. "Why did humans choose this story to share?" Humans answered with honesty and thoughtfulness, explaining values, traditions, and lessons from their past. Max realized that every word humans spoke, every action they took, was now being analyzed. When the meetings ended, the council returned to their ships. Ren paused at the balcony and looked over the city. "Humans are unusual," he said quietly to his team. "They appear gentle, but they have hidden strength. Their intelligence is practical and creative. Their courage is not obvious at first glance, but it is real. We must continue our study carefully." The team nodded. "Do you believe they are ready for challenges from outside?" asked one member. Ren thought for a moment. "Perhaps more than they realize. They survive through problem solving, innovation, and courage. They do not follow patterns like other civilizations. We must observe closely. They may be stronger than any of us expected." Meanwhile, Max returned home with Myra and others. They discussed every detail of the day. "They are learning quickly," Myra said. "I think they are testing us without telling us. Every question, every gesture, it is a small challenge. We need to be ready for what comes next." Max agreed. "Humans have always faced challenges. We never give up. We adapt. We survive. If they are testing us, we will show them what Earth is capable of. We are not fragile. We are clever, and we are strong." That night, the city rested under the glow of the council's ships. Humans slept with a sense of curiosity and pride, unaware that the council had already begun analyzing their every move. Max lay awake, imagining the future. The council might appear gentle, but humans had already shown courage, intelligence, and adaptability. Max knew that Earth had something unique, something no other world could match. The real test had not yet begun. A week after the council's arrival, humans noticed a strange activity in the skies above Earth. The council had created a controlled simulation, invisible to most people, designed to test human strategy and courage. Max was among the few humans aware of the simulation. He and Myra studied the signals from the council's ships, trying to understand the purpose. The simulation began quietly. Suddenly, holographic projections appeared across the city. Giant alien figures moved through the streets, and glowing ships hovered above. Many humans panicked at first, not knowing what was happening. Max shouted over the noise, "Stay calm. This is a test. We can handle it." Humans listened. Max organized groups of volunteers to respond to different areas. Some were tasked with observing, some with defending key locations, and others with finding ways to outsmart the projections. Myra worked beside him, directing communication between the teams. Humans quickly realized that traditional methods would not work. The projections were too fast, too clever, and constantly changing. The council observed from their ships. Ren watched closely, curious to see how humans would react under pressure. "They seem confident," he said quietly. "They do not panic. This is unusual. Most species would have frozen." Max noticed that the projections responded to human actions. When a team blocked one street, the projection moved to another. Max thought quickly. "We need to think differently. Use the environment. Use teamwork. Anticipate their moves, not just react." Humans began setting traps using simple tools and quick thinking. They guided the projections into narrow streets, blocked paths with vehicles, and used light reflections to confuse them. Every action required cooperation and trust. Volunteers communicated constantly, adapting to each change. Max felt a surge of pride. Humans were not just surviving, they were leading the simulation. Myra pointed to a group of projections advancing toward the city center. "Max, they are too many. We need a new plan." Max looked around and saw the old subway tunnels below the city. "We can use the tunnels to create a surprise," he said. Humans quickly moved through the tunnels, setting decoys and guiding the projections into traps. The holographic aliens moved as if learning from human actions, but Max and his team stayed ahead. The council was impressed. Ren had expected humans to struggle or fail, but they were adapting faster than anticipated. "They are learning from the challenge," he said. "They are not only responding, they are improving." Hours passed, and the city began to look normal again. The holographic projections disappeared one by one. Humans cheered as they realized they had controlled the situation. Max and Myra smiled at each other, exhausted but proud. "We did it," Max said. "We handled their test. And we did it together." Ren called his team together. "This planet is unlike any other. Humans are clever, resilient, and unpredictable. They do not follow rules the way other civilizations do. They adapt. They survive. They plan. Their strength is not obvious, but it is very real." Other council members nodded. One said, "They seem gentle, but their minds are sharp. They think faster than expected. We underestimated them." Ren looked at Earth below and continued, "We must reconsider our assumptions. This is only the first test, yet they have shown skill beyond what we predicted." On the ground, humans were already discussing the events. Scientists, leaders, and volunteers shared stories of quick decisions, teamwork, and creativity. Max realized that the test had not only proven human skill, it had strengthened their confidence. "We can handle anything," he said to Myra. "We are not fragile. We are clever, and we work together. That is our real strength." Myra smiled. They wanted to see our limits. Instead, they saw our potential. In the council ships, Ren studied the humans with a new perspective. "We assumed they were easy to influence," he said. "We assumed they were gentle and fragile. We were wrong. Their resilience, adaptability, and intelligence make them dangerous in a very different way. They are not like other civilizations we have met. They are unique." That night, Earth seemed peaceful again. The streets were quiet, the sky calm. Yet something had changed. Humans had faced a challenge that tested their courage, intelligence, and teamwork. They had succeeded. and the council had learned a truth they could not ignore. Max stood on a rooftop, looking at the stars. "We handled their first test," he said quietly. "Whatever comes next, we will face it. Humans do not give up. We survive, we adapt, and we fight together. They may have thought we were easy, but they were wrong." Far above, the council ships shone against the night sky. Ren continued to watch Earth, thoughtful and cautious. The humans had shown a strength that could not be ignored. The first test was over, but the real challenge had only just begun. After the first test, the council did not leave. Instead, they stayed in orbit, watching Earth more closely than before. They wanted to understand humans in ways they had never needed to with other species. The calm, polite facade of humanity fascinated them. Yet, the more they observed, the more questions arose. Max and Myra noticed the council's increased presence. The ships moved with silent precision, hovering above cities and forests. Humans were proud but cautious. They had faced a test and succeeded, but they knew the council would be watching for the next challenge. Max gathered a small team of scientists and thinkers. "They are learning fast," he said. "We cannot predict what they will do. We need to study them as carefully as they study us." The council continued to visit human cities, schools, and laboratories. They asked questions about social structures, technologies, and problem-solving strategies. Every question seemed polite, but Max understood they were analyzing patterns, testing reactions, and measuring resilience. Humans answered honestly, sharing knowledge while showing cleverness in their explanations. Ren spoke quietly to his team one evening. "We must proceed carefully," he said. "They are not only adapting, they are improving. Their decisions are practical, creative, and unexpected. We assumed a gentle nature, but they are far from it. We must not underestimate them again." The council decided to observe human society indirectly. They watched families, communities, and cities dealing with everyday problems. They noticed that humans worked together even under stress. When a natural disaster struck a small coastal town, humans organized quickly. They rescued people, protected resources, and restored order with limited tools. Max and his team were involved in relief efforts. They noticed that even ordinary humans displayed remarkable skill and bravery. Every challenge seemed to teach humans something new. "The council is testing us silently in everything we do," Max said. "They watch how we respond, how we adapt, how we survive. We must keep proving that Earth is strong." Myra added, "They are cautious now because they realize humans are unpredictable. They expected panic, fear, or failure. Instead, we showed intelligence and courage. They do not fully understand our potential yet, and that makes them careful." In one city, the council observed a team of engineers rebuilding a damaged bridge after a storm. Humans had no advanced machines, only tools, teamwork, and strategy. They designed temporary supports, redirected traffic, and completed the repairs faster than anyone expected. The council studied every movement, every decision, and every solution. Ren watched silently from a ship above. They think quickly. They use the environment, improvise, and learn from mistakes. This is not like any species we have encountered. They are not easily broken, and their unity is remarkable. We must continue our study with respect and caution. The council also noticed that humans did not blindly follow orders. When someone suggested a risky solution, teams discussed it, debated it, and sometimes rejected it in favor of better ideas. Max encouraged his team to trust their instincts while considering the opinions of others. "This is what makes humans strong," he said. "We are not machines. We think, adapt, and support each other. That is our advantage. Meanwhile, the council members started showing subtle changes in their behavior. They no longer assumed humans would fail. They no longer treated questions as simple curiosities. Instead, they approached humans with careful attention, observing without interference. Their politeness now carried a hint of caution. Ren spoke to one of his advisors, a being with flowing silver light for skin. Humans are more capable than we imagined. They survive challenges that would break others. They adapt and improve with every test. We must approach the next phase carefully. They may be ready for things we cannot predict. On the ground, Max felt the council's attention. He gathered his team and spoke quietly. They are watching everything. Not to harm us, but to understand us. We must continue to work together, to learn from each test, and to prove our strength. Earth cannot be underestimated. Myra nodded. Every day, every action, every choice teaches them about us. But it also teaches us about ourselves. We are clever, resilient, and capable. The council may have assumed we are gentle, but we have already shown we are more than that. The weeks passed, and humans continued their daily lives while remaining aware of the council's observation. They faced minor challenges from storms, equipment failures, and natural problems, always finding creative solutions. Each success added to their confidence, and the council noted each one with growing respect. As night fell, Max looked up at the ships above. The council had changed. Their curiosity had turned to caution. They no longer assumed humans were fragile. They had learned, slowly but clearly, that Earth's people were clever, resourceful, and strong. Max smiled, feeling a quiet pride. Humans had faced their first challenge and grown stronger under observation. The next challenge would come, but he knew they were ready. Earth was no longer a world to be underestimated. One morning, alarms echoed across Earth. Strange signals appeared on every communication network. A fleet of massive ships from another galaxy was heading toward the planet. The Council had predicted challenges, but this was real. Unlike the simulations, this threat was live. Panic spread in some cities, but Max and his team remained calm. Max quickly organized a command center in the capital. He spoke to volunteers from across the country. We have faced tests before. This is real, but we have learned to adapt. We must work together, use our intelligence, and protect our people. Myra stood beside him, directing communication between teams. Every city, every group, must coordinate. We cannot rely on strength alone. We need strategy, creativity, and quick thinking. The alien fleet approached, their ships enormous and glowing with an unfamiliar energy. The Council watched from orbit, surprised by the humans' quick response. They had assumed the fleet would overwhelm Earth easily. Yet humans were already implementing defensive plans. Max and his team analyzed the alien movements. They are fast and precise, he said. But they are predictable if we observe carefully. We need to turn their strength into a weakness. Humans began using the environment to their advantage. Satellites were repositioned to track enemy ships. Large mirrors reflected sunlight to confuse sensors. Drones created decoys to mislead the attackers. Teams communicated constantly, adapting to every movement of the fleet. The aliens attacked cities, but humans had prepared. Civilian areas were evacuated, and defensive measures slowed the fleet. Engineers created quick barriers, while pilots guided drones to disrupt alien navigation. Max and Myra moved between teams, offering guidance and encouragement. Every human contributed, from scientists to volunteers, from students to workers. The council observed silently. Ren spoke quietly to his advisors. We assumed humans would fall quickly. Instead, they have organized, adapted, and responded with intelligence. Their strength is not only in courage but in their ability to think and cooperate under pressure. Humans continued to fight creatively. They discovered that the alien ships relied on specific energy patterns to move. Using a combination of technology and quick improvisation, humans disrupted the patterns, causing the fleet to lose formation. Max smiled, realizing the fleet's biggest advantage was now a vulnerability. Myra reported, the aliens are confused. Their movements are slower. They are not prepared for human adaptability. Max nodded. Now we push carefully. We do not destroy unnecessarily, but we must protect our world. The battle continued for hours. Humans used everything at their disposal, from clever traps to environmental tactics. They combined strategy with courage, never giving up. Every challenge the aliens created was met with a new solution. Citizens supported the efforts with supplies, communication, and encouragement. The council watched with growing admiration. Ren said, humans are unlike any other species we have encountered. Their resilience, adaptability, and creativity make them formidable. They are not just survivors, they are thinkers, innovators, and fighters. By the evening, the alien fleet began to retreat. They had underestimated Earth and the humans defending it. Max and his team monitored their exit, ensuring no ships returned unexpectedly. Humans cheered quietly, proud but careful. They had protected their world without unnecessary destruction, proving both strength and wisdom. Ren called his team together. They have exceeded our expectations. They did not panic. They did not surrender. They adapted, fought intelligently, and preserved life. Earth is a world of exceptional beings. We must remember this lesson. On the ground, Max addressed the volunteers. We faced a real threat today. We showed courage, intelligence, and unity. We did not win because of weapons alone, we won because we used our minds, our skills, and our teamwork. That is the true strength of Earth. Myra added, this is only the beginning. We have proven that we are capable, but we must continue learning and preparing. Challenges will come, but humans will face them with courage and intelligence. As night fell, Earth was safe. The alien fleet had retreated, leaving only the stars shining above. Humans looked up with pride, knowing they had faced an impossible challenge and survived. Max stood quietly, thinking about the lessons learned. Humans were clever, adaptable, and united. They were ready for anything. The council ships remained above, silent and thoughtful. Ren observed Earth and spoke quietly, the first test was controlled. The second threat was real. Humans have shown strength beyond imagination. We must treat them with respect and caution. Their hidden strength is now clear to all of us. Max looked up at the stars, feeling a quiet determination. Earth had survived. Humans had faced their greatest challenge so far and proved their courage and intelligence. Whatever the future held, they would face it together. Earth was no longer underestimated. After the retreat of the alien fleet, the council called a private meeting in orbit above Earth. Ren and his advisors gathered in a large room inside their flagship. Their faces were calm, but the atmosphere was serious. For the first time, the council admitted to themselves that humans were not what they had assumed. Ren began, we came to this planet expecting gentle, fragile beings. We assumed humans would follow instructions, fear challenges, and submit easily. That assumption was wrong. They are clever, adaptable, and surprisingly courageous. An advisor with shimmering silver skin nodded. We tested them carefully, and even in controlled situations, they exceeded all predictions. In the real threat, they did not panic or retreat. Instead, they organized, learned, and defeated the enemy without unnecessary loss. This is exceptional. Ren looked down at Earth, the cities still glowing with lights and life. Their gentleness is only one part of their nature. Beneath it is a strength that can survive anything. They do not act recklessly, but they do not fear challenges. They are determined and intelligent. We must recognize this fully. On Earth, Max and Myra were debriefing volunteers and leaders. Humans shared stories of teamwork, innovation, and quick thinking. Each person realized that their efforts had been noticed, even if they did not know the council was watching. Max addressed the group, "We have shown our courage, intelligence, and unity. The council may have underestimated us, but now they see the truth. We are capable, and we will continue to protect our world." Myra added, "Every challenge we face, every problem we solve, teaches us more. The aliens tested us, the council observed, and we succeeded. That is proof that humans are stronger than anyone expected." Back in orbit, the council discussed their next steps. "We must treat humans differently now," Ren said. "They are not fragile. We cannot manipulate them as we do with other civilizations. They think independently, act decisively, and protect each other. Their strength is unique. We must respect it." Another advisor asked, "Do we continue testing them?" Ren shook his head. "Further tests may not be necessary. The purpose of observation was to understand them. Now we see clearly. Humans are not easily broken. They are persistent, creative, and brave. Pretend gentleness is not weakness. It is part of their strategy, their nature. We underestimated them completely. On Earth, humans continued their daily lives. Schools reopened, cities repaired themselves, and communities worked together to restore what had been disrupted by the alien attack. Max and Myra guided efforts to improve defenses and communication systems. They taught humans how to think strategically and work together efficiently. The council observed silently, taking note of every improvement. Ren commented quietly, "They learn from every challenge. Their ability to adapt and improve is extraordinary. They do not wait for guidance, they create solutions. This is unlike any species we have encountered before." Max looked at his team and said, "We survived because we did not panic. We worked together, used our intelligence, and adapted to every situation. Humans are not just brave, they are clever. That is our real strength. We must remember it for the future." Myra smiled. "The council will remember it too. They cannot underestimate us again. Every action we take proves that Earth is strong, and humans are extraordinary." The council realized that their assumptions about gentleness had been only a surface impression. Humans were capable of far more than polite interactions and peaceful behavior suggested. Their ingenuity, resilience, and courage were now clear to all observers. Ren spoke to his advisors one last time before ending the meeting. "We came expecting ease. We expected compliance. We found strength, strategy, and courage. Humans are exceptional, and we must approach our relationship with them with respect. Earth is no longer a planet we can overlook or underestimate." Max and Myra looked at the stars that night, aware that the council had changed their perception. Humans had revealed their true nature through action, not words. Their gentleness had been misinterpreted, and their real power was now undeniable. Max said quietly, "We have shown them who we are. We survived, we adapted, and we protected our world. That is the true strength of humans. They will never underestimate us again." Myra nodded, adding, "And we will continue to grow. Every challenge makes us stronger, smarter, and more united. Earth is ready for whatever comes next." High above, the council watched silently, knowing that the balance of power had shifted. Humans were no longer the species to be tested, they were a species to respect. Their hidden strength was now obvious, and the lesson of Earth's resilience would remain clear across galaxies. For the first time, the Council realized that gentleness could coexist with extraordinary strength. Humans had shown the galaxy that true power often hides behind a calm and polite exterior. The days after the alien fleet retreated were calm but full of energy on Earth. Humans rebuilt, planned, and reflected on what had happened. Max and Myra worked with volunteers and scientists to strengthen defenses, improve communication, and develop strategies for any future threats. Every person contributed in their own way, proving that humans were united and resourceful. Above the planet, the Council watched quietly. Ren spoke to his team, "Earth is unlike any civilization we have encountered. Humans are clever, adaptive, and strong. They protect their world and learn from every challenge. We must approach them with respect, not assumption." Finally, the Council decided to make contact again. This time, the tone was different. They landed in open fields outside the city, inviting human leaders and strategists to meet them formally. Max, Myra, and a few other key figures arrived, ready to speak on behalf of Earth. Ren stepped forward. His silver skin gleamed in the sunlight, and his calm presence filled the field. "People of Earth," he began, "we have come to understand your world and your people. We assumed your strength was limited, your courage fragile. We were wrong. You have shown intelligence, adaptability, and bravery beyond our expectations. Today, we recognize you as equals, not as subjects of study." Humans listened in awe. Max stepped forward, representing everyone who had contributed to Earth's defense. "We did not act for recognition," he said. "We acted to protect our homes, our families, and our world. Earth has always faced challenges, and we have always survived. That is who we are." Myra added, "Our strength comes from working together, learning from mistakes, and adapting to every situation. We do not rely on fear or weakness. We rely on courage, intelligence, and unity. That is the real power of humans." Ren nodded slowly. "We understand now. Your actions have shown what words cannot. Your resilience, creativity, and determination are extraordinary. The Council no longer assumes weakness. Earth is a strong world with strong people. We offer our respect, and we seek partnership, not dominance." The humans and Council members exchanged knowledge, ideas, and plans for cooperation. Scientists and strategists discussed technology, culture, and exploration. Humans shared their inventions and strategies, while the Council offered insight from across galaxies. The exchange was open, equal, and respectful. Max looked around at the humans beside him. Every person was proud, yet humble. They had faced impossible odds, protected their planet, and shown their true capabilities. The Council had finally seen Earth as it really was, a world of courage, intelligence, and unity. Ren spoke privately to his advisors later. "We misjudged them at first. We assumed gentleness meant weakness. Now we see it differently. Humans are patient, persistent, and wise. They can survive and thrive in ways few species can. We must honor their strength and treat them as partners in the galaxy. On Earth, life returned to a normal rhythm, but humans carried a new confidence. Children played under the open sky, schools thrived, and communities worked together to rebuild stronger cities. The memory of the tests and the alien threat remained, but it became a source of pride. Humans had proven their strength not just to the Council, but to themselves. Max and Myra stood on a hill overlooking a city lit by the glow of evening lights. "We faced our first real test," Max said. "We survived, adapted, and protected our world. That is the legacy we carry forward." Myra smiled. "And the Council understands it too. They will no longer underestimate humans. We have earned their respect, and that respect will protect Earth in ways we cannot even imagine yet." Ren and the Council watched from above, feeling admiration for the planet below. They had traveled across galaxies expecting obedience and simplicity. Instead, they found complexity, strength, and courage. They had learned that humans were unpredictable, innovative, and united in ways no other civilization had shown. The skies above Earth were peaceful. The alien threat was gone, and the Council had left their ships in orbit, a silent reminder that humans were now recognized. Max looked at the stars, imagining what the future might bring. Humans had survived against odds that would have defeated many civilizations. They had proven that true strength is not always loud or obvious. It is patient, clever, and unwavering. Ren spoke one last time before departing. "Earth is a planet of remarkable beings. We came expecting gentleness and found strength. We have learned a lesson we will not forget. Humans will face the galaxy with courage and wisdom, and we will stand as their partners, not their guides." Max and Myra watched as the Council's ships disappeared into the distance. Humans had shown the universe their true nature. They were brave, intelligent, and united. Earth was no longer underestimated, and the future was filled with promise. The night air was calm, and the stars shone brightly above. Humans had earned respect through action, courage, and unity. They had proven that gentleness could coexist with extraordinary strength. Earth was safe, and its people were ready for whatever challenges might come. Humans had faced the tests, survived the threats, and shown the galaxy that their strength was real. The story of Earth was no longer one of simplicity or fragility. It was a story of resilience, intelligence, and the unbreakable spirit of humanity. And from that night forward, the Council and the galaxy would never forget what Earth and its people had shown.